Committee. He served on the Sea Grant Fisheries Research. On the county level, he served on the listen to this, Union County Stormwater Advisory Committee. In 2022 is currently the chairman of the Union County Board of Equalization and Review. He has lived in Weddington for 10 years in the Providence Place neighborhood with his wife, Paula. Paula, where are you? Right there she is. Woo! And her mother, Jean, comes wealth of knowledge, ability to lead, his ability to get along well with others, his preserving Weddington goals will greatly benefit the town of Weddington. Please join me in welcoming your next candidate for town council, or your next town council for District 2, Tom Smith.
Thank you, Kim. Glad to be here. As she mentioned, I am Tom Smith. I run the town council in District 2. Yeah, you have to really get this close to it. I'm used to these things from Rotary. We have to project and speak to crowds, which is really good. I'm a native North Carolinian. I grew up in Greensboro. I moved down to the Charlotte area over 40 years ago. We moved out to Weddington 10 years ago because it is such a nice place. It is small town, it is semi-rural. I moved out when I was down here. We lived over what is now Blakeney. At that time, there were 7 houses on that road. Dan Kell had his farm at the end with all his cows. The only thing I had to worry about waking up in the morning is Dan's cows in my garden. We had nothing there. Then, as you know, what Blakeney is now, we left. We came out here because of what Weddington is. It is a unique and special place. We love it. My wife Paula and I love it out here, and that's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because Weddington is a unique and special place that we need to preserve. We need to protect its small town values and character. If not, we're going to end up like everybody else, like right down the road that way and right down the road that way, and we'll end up being one more urban, suburban block. That's where we'll end up if we don't. We should grow through high-value, low-density residential development. That's how we should develop what's left of the open space of Weddington. We do not need commercial outside of the existing commercial district. We have it, it's there, and because we have right now this high-value and low-density model, it has allowed us to keep our taxes low. We have limited services. We have enough services to take care of what our needs are here. We have the lowest tax rate around. Go ask Waxhaw what they pay for taxes. It's about, what, 2.5, 3, 4 times more than what it is here. It is, I think we pay 4.6 cents, and they pay 30-something cents. That's the difference. And it's because we have this low-density model. We're not a slave to commercial development like they are in high-density housing. The more people you put in, the more services you provide. You crowd your schools out quicker, and you pack your roads with traffic. We don't want that. We can do what we can do. We can't control all of our traffic around here because a lot of people pass through from one town to another. But we don't have to add more students to the school than we need to, and we don't have to add more traffic to the roads than we do. One of the things that I'm really high on and want to make sure we do is when we look at the budget process. As I looked at this a couple of years ago when we had the tax reevaluation and property values went up a bunch, and our tax rate didn't go down. Most of the other neighboring communities, they dropped the tax rate because I believe the average home values in this community went up close to 30%, and we kept it the same. We could have dropped the tax value and been revenue neutral. We weren't. I spent countless hours going through the information they had online of where we were, how we got to where we are, and what the Yes, you call it. Why didn't we lower our rate? So I figured it out finally. It took me a long time. And I stood up at town council and said, I want everybody in the room to know they're raising your taxes 30% because they didn't lower your tax rate. I was the only one who stood up in town council to bring that out. The town needs to present an executive summary of the budget to the taxpayers, showing all the assumptions on where our revenue's coming from and what our expenses are going to be, and if there's any significant changes for the new year over the existing year. We shouldn't have to spend hours on end trying to figure out what they're doing. It should be explained to us very simply. That's one thing, if elected, I would do. Roads and stormwater are something that's very dear to my heart. Stormwater, I served on the stormwater committee for the county. That committee looked at and advised the county commission with whatever good it did for what to do in the unincorporated county in ways of rules and regulations, because they had virtually none. One thing I looked at, and I saw it in our plans here, is that we have what they call a 10-year rain retainage runoff rate calculation for the developers to meet. We should be at least at 25 years, and if not at 50. When you have a developer like the one who's down there at Lockhaven coming in and voluntarily saying, I'll do 25 years, you know your current minimum regulations are way too low. So the stormwater rules need to be reviewed and make sure we do that. Roads, I know the state maintains and builds the roads, but we have numerous failing and substandard residential streets in this town. We all complain about them. I've complained about mine. I know when I talk to people around, they complain about theirs. Is it doing much good? Not really. I would propose, if elected, that the town conduct a detailed survey of all of the state maintained residential roads, put it together, and give it to the state. Put them on notice for the roads that are failing, substandard, and I think together we'd have a greater voice of getting some action out of it. Right now, me complaining or you complaining about your road, we're getting nowhere. This is the only solution I see to help get us somewhere on there. What I'm going to say, if you support me, you will get a dedicated servant who will work for you, the people of Weddington. I believe, again, I was the district governor of Rotary, had over almost 3,000 members around this part of the state. And we believe in service above self. I'm not doing this because it's something I want to check off my list. I guarantee you this is a lot of work and not much fun. I'll do everything in my power to make sure we keep the commercial interest at bay and that we develop what we have left of the land in the town in a high-value, low-density residential manner, serving the concept of one house per acre. And if you look at the traditional zoning has been a hot topic. That's what allowed for the proposal at Weddington Green. Traditional zoning should be mean in our ordinances, which it doesn't mean today. It should mean minor variations off of the existing zoning, not whatever goes, which the developers do to us. So all I say is compare my record of speaking on the issues, because I spoke 3 times about Weddington Green. I stood up there and gave my 2 cents about Weddington Green. I've spoken about the budget and many other things at Town Hall. Compare my record to my opponents and what I've done,